So we're going to take a look at grading discussions in Dropboxes, and there's a couple things to be sure of before you get into the grading process. And one of them is to ensure that each of your discussions in Dropboxes are linked to a grade item. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here first to discussions. We can take a look. We're going to be looking at week 1 here. I can go ahead and click the little drop down and click Edit Topic now. And you can see all of this information here. In discussions, I need to go to the Assessment tab, and I can look in here and I can associate this with a grade item, which it already is, called Gradable Discussion. I can enter the score, and I can also, if I desire, add a rubric. And rubrics are a great way to save time. They do require a little bit of setup though. So if you have a rubric all set up, you can put it into D2L and then add it through here to grade with a rubric for discussion topics. Now you can do the same thing inside of Dropbox. It's a very similar setup process. When you look down here, generally what you want to do is you want to give a student an overall grade for a discussion, but you can assess individual posts. If you choose to do that, you can go ahead and click this little checkbox here. I didn't change anything. I'm going to go ahead and cancel here. A couple of recommendations here is to basically make sure that you go ahead and grade through the gradebook, especially when you're using multiple tools. If you have all of your assignments attached to a grade item, it's very easy to go ahead and go into your gradebook and see if students have participated and assess their participation. Now, one thing I want to look at before I proceed to grading is actually looking at kind of a little bit of maybe student engagement, which you can do on a topic-by-topic basis. So if I go here to week 1, I click the little drop down, I can view the topic statistics, and it gives you a little bit of information. The overall posts in your course, the total posts in your forum, the total posts in this particular topic, how many are pinned, and if you chose to have to approve posts, you'll see that here as well. Now, if we look down here, you can see all the students as well as instructors. You can see how many posts they've authored, how many they've read, how many are unapproved, and how many have been scored. So we look here and you can see there's some people that authored 2 posts, read 6, authored 0 but read 10, and authored 3 and read 23. So you can get kind of a glimpse of the engagement through the topic statistics area. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, recommend that you go ahead and grade through the gradebook. So first we're going to go ahead and look at discussions, and then we'll move towards Dropbox as well. If I click on Gradebook and Grades, it's going to take me to my gradebook, and now I can look for the grade item that is attached to my discussion. Good recommendation, if you haven't already made grade items, is to make the discussion name something that's very relevant and matches the grade item. So I'm going to go all the way over here. I happen to know where this one is, Gradable Discussion here. And one thing right here, we can actually see that some students have posted in here. But I'm going to go ahead and click the drop down and click Grade All. What this allows me to do is in one page I can see all of the students in my course. I can see if they have submitted something here. The little blue asterisk next to these speech bubbles means there are unread messages that student has posted. I can also see who has not participated. I can offer a grade for each individual, and I can leave feedback for each individual as well. So for instance, student 5 here, I can see that student 5 participated. If I click on the little speech bubble, it brings up that particular student's participation. I can score their topic right here. I can offer text feedback. And then I can also take a look down here at the very bottom, and I can look at this particular student's posts. Now this will include all posts inside of the topic that is linked to this grade item. So we can see student 5 has posted 1 post And we can see date and time information here as well. Once I've entered my feedback, I'm satisfied I've given them the correct score. I can click Published, which will allow this to automatically publish the feedback and the grade to the gradebook, and then I go ahead and click Save. It's always going to warn you it's going to overwrite the feedback that was left for this user to begin with, and you can say, okay, I'm okay with that, and overwrite. Now we can see here this page updates, and you can see for student 5, their grade is now 7 out of 10. They have feedback that they can see, and I can also click on this if I choose to edit all of those comments, which brings up something a little bit different, which is actually useful. So student 18, for instance, here did not participate. I can give that student a 0. I can click on the feedback link, and then you can see there was previously left feedback here, but I can enter any feedback I wish to give that student in the feedback box up top. Once I'm done with that, again I click Save, and you can see there's feedback here for that student even though they did not participate in the discussion. We will take a look a little bit later at what a student will see when feedback is given to them. Let's go ahead and move towards Dropbox now. Once I click on Dropbox, I can take a look here, and we're going to look at sample essay with plagiarism detection. You can see a little icon here that implies, that explains that originality check is enabled, as well as this is tied to a grade item. We can see that that grade item is essay 3. If you need to link this to a grade item, you can edit, and then you can choose a grade item from the list here. We can go back to Dropbox. Now, one of the ways to get in here is you can actually click and see all of the submissions at once. But again, I personally like going to the gradebook in order to grade any of these. Especially if you're using multiple tools, this makes it much easier. So if I go here and go back to the gradebook, all I need to look for is essay 3, which I see here, E3. I'm going to go ahead and click that drop down again, click Grade All. And then I can see what students have participated. I can see a grade column, what their grade is, as well as any kind of feedback I choose to leave them. We're going to take a look at student 5 once again, and I can see that there's a Dropbox here, an icon that indicates they've participated, and that little blue asterisk tells me that I have not looked at their submission. So if you have a student like student 18, we're going to pick on him again, did not participate, again I can grade here. I can leave feedback much the same way I did before. But I can also go here to student 5 and I can say, okay, I want to see that student's submission. We can see here an originality report if you had that enabled. You can see the name of the document that they submitted. And on the right, you can see any kind of evaluation methods that you can use. If you click on the originality report, or you use the markup document link, you can use Turnitin to score any Dropbox assignments. On the right-hand side, you can use a rubric if you've attached it to this particular assignment. And you can also look at rubric statistics. Now, one other thing in here that is actually very useful, I'm going to go ahead and give this student a grade real quick. Once I'm satisfied with what I've done here, I can go ahead and click Publish, and that means the students can see that information. Now, if I go back to the folder submissions, I can take a look in here, and I can find the submission. So we're looking for student 5. Here's the document, and we can see that I've published feedback for that particular student. But say I want to provide feedback for all of the students at once. I can actually select everything, download all of these, and it gives me a zip file that I can then click on to download. We can see I downloaded it here. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. We'll take a look at my desktop, and I'm going to go ahead and actually right-click this. I'll go ahead and just save it to my desktop. And now we can see the name here. It gives us a name, a date, and a time. Go ahead and save that. And I can see here that it's a zip file, so a compressed file. I can right-click, hit Extract All, and just go ahead and I leave this at default. Hit Extract, and it will give me a folder with all of this information in here. Now you see these digits up front? These digits mark each of these here. So what I can do, and I'm just going to do student 5 again, go ahead and open up a Word document here. Make this a little bit smaller so we can see everything. So you can see in here, I'm going to enable editing. If I have any comments that I want to add here, I can go into the Review tab and I can say, okay, I want to make a comment on this. I can go ahead and save this without changing the file name, close it. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Then I'm going to go back to D2L. Right now I'm in the Dropbox, and you can see there's this button called Add Feedback Files. So what you saw I did there is add feedback to an individual paper. Now what I need to do is I need to do the same. I need to compress these, put them into a zip file, and then re-upload it, and it will automatically add that feedback for the individual student. And I can go ahead and right-click here. I'm going to go ahead and click Send To, and then Compressed Zipped Folder. I'm going to go ahead and leave it with that name. Say OK. We know this is my file that I'm looking for. It has a 2 at the end, so I noted the file name. I can click up here, click Add Feedback Files. Go ahead and click Upload. I'm going to find that file on my desktop. We can see here, I want to see full file names here. I can see here's my 2. I'm going to go ahead and say open that. I'm going to add it. And this will automatically upload my feedback in the form of a Word file that a student will get in the Dropbox as a file that's attached to my feedback for them. This is very useful because students can actually see that information. So let's go ahead and look for student 5. Look at the feedback that I offered to them. And you can see down here is the file that I re-uploaded. So they'll be able to see my comments in Microsoft Word, which is very nice. Now one thing that we want to do is we actually want to see what a student might see. So we've been working with student 5 this whole time. I'm going to go ahead and become student 5 so we can see what the student sees. So remember, we left feedback on a discussion, and then we left feedback and evaluated a Dropbox as well. So when I go to my grades area here, you see here's SA3. You can see the feedback that I left. Please make sure to cite your sources properly, as well as the grade that I evaluated for them. And then we can also look at the discussion that we had called Gradable Discussion, which is down here at the bottom. You can see the grade that I gave them, and you can see the individual feedback. So this is a way that allows you to see everything in one spot, grade all of your different portions in one spot, and allows you to leave feedback for your students all from one location. So this is very useful. It's time saving, and that covers most of the tricks